Hello, this is Psychic Medium Samantha Faye. I'm coming to you once again to share some loving messages for you. Something pretty funny happened just a second ago. I was getting ready to do this live to share some messages with you, and I went to grab my angel cards. And right below that was my fairy cards because I am a collector of oracle card decks. I think they're so much fun. I love using them. Someday, one of my dreams is to have my own deck collection of Samantha Faye decks. So look out for those because they'll be coming to you, hopefully sooner rather than later. But with that, so I was going to grab my angel cards. The fairy cards said, "Hey, it's time to use us." And I said, like, what? Because I just kind of heard a little whisper in my ear. And I went to grab my angel cards again, and the fairy deck again said, "No, it's time to use us." I've never used this deck before. I just took it out of the packaging, and so the messages that I was getting was that this deck is less about messages for me, but more about sharing them with you. So I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle them right now. So for those of you that are paying attention live, and also for those of you that are going to be watching the replay, go ahead and think of a question. Think of a question, think of something that is going on in your life that you would like clarity on, because this is how it works. Sometimes it's really funny to tune into energy because we don't have to be in the physical space. We don't have to use communication and verbal words in order to be connected. So the more you can just really focus and concentrate on that, go ahead and bring it to the forefront of your awareness. And I'd love it if you could just bump a bunch of hearts there, right there, hit the little heart emoticon and show your support here. I'd really greatly appreciate it. That'll also show me who all is tuning in and paying attention. All right, so I got one card here. I'm going to pick 3. That was the message I was getting, was it's time to pick 3. Thank you for those hearts and those thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. So let's see what the next card is. There we go. And it looks like those two go together. Okay, so wonderful. Now that you have your question, now that you have your topic, what it is that you would like to gain clarity on, let's go ahead and dive into the cards. So the first card that I'm pulling here is a dietary change. Improve your diet and your life will also improve. I think this is something that we all take for granted. I know I'm guilty of it, getting so much into the busy, rush that I don't pay attention as much to my diet. But again, this is not about me, this is about you. So let's go ahead and tune into what that means specifically for you. What I'm seeing like instantly that came up was water. It's really important for you to pay attention to what is in your water, what kind of water you're drinking, where you're getting it from. Is it alkalized? Is it going through a filtration process? What are the things that can really help you? So for those of you that are using filtered water, please go ahead and type into the comments what kind of water or where you get, or if there's anything that you really like. I personally, I live in Reno, and I like to go to Healing One. My good friend Chaz and John, Micah, and Lauren are the owners there, and they have an incredible filtration system in their water. So if you haven't gone to Healing One, go to Healing One and just milk their water system. Tell them I sent you and tell them I told you to do it. So pay attention to the water. The other thing I'm seeing that's coming up is greens, but particularly celery. For somebody that's watching here, there's something about celery that's really going to help you with your snacking habits. So if you're constantly snacking on things that aren't good for you, or junk food or whatever it is, start keeping sliced celery in the fridge at home so that it's really easy for you to just, oh, I'm hungry, I like to go nibble, and just go to the celery, because that crunch will help satisfy if you're like eating potato chips or something like that. So start looking at shifting some of those things from really fatty, salty, addictive foods to things that are nourishing to your body, things that are really going to help. So I see that that's what that message is from. Okay, going to the next ones. Like I said, these two came together. Oh, ha ha ha, this is vegetarian. So that's pretty funny that the first one was dietary changes and this one is vegetarian. And the third card is connect with nature, which has a lot to do with the plants. and vegetables and the whole nine. I'm pretty amazed that these are all coming up right here. I think the message is pretty clear. You don't really need to be a psychic to be able to see that there's a connection between changing the diet, being consistent with what it is that you're eating for yourself and for others. So if there's people around you that are making food choices that aren't as healthy for them, instead of judging and pointing the finger and say, you shouldn't do that, this is bad, why don't you just talk about like, hey, I really love eating celery, and this is why. It makes me feel great. I feel wonderful when I eat it. It makes me full of energy, and on and on and on. There's so many things that you can say to encourage somebody, including yourself, to make better food choices and decisions rather than shaming or judgment or punishment. That if you're going to eat the cookie, know that it's okay, but don't shame yourself and judge yourself while you're doing it. Acknowledge that, okay, this is a treat, this isn't something that's going to be consistent, and I'm going to choose to eat more celery, because that's the theme here. So paying attention to vegetarian, eating and more vegetables, more fruits, steering clear of meat, even being conscious and present of where your dairy is coming from, and then connecting with nature. When you're connecting with nature and you're connecting with the spirit of the land, the spirit of the plants, the spirit of the animals that are around us, there's so many messages and so much information out there for us that's going to help us in our daily lives. Really connecting with what's going on a global scale and being more conscious and more present with the choices that we're making for ourselves is the only way we are going to make a difference. So pay attention to you. Start with your food habits. Start with your changes. You have control over that. You have full and total control over everything that goes into your body. Right? Yes, we all do. So be really aware and really present. I'm going to be doing this with you. So know that I'm not just saying, do what I say, not what I do. I'm going to be doing and practicing this with you. All right, so we have the connecting with nature and the vegetarian. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. So the next one is children. This one, I think it speaks volumes as to not so much the children around us, who are the children around us, but who are the children within us. How corny does that sound? It's so cliche and so cheesy. But really, it's the inner child. It's the inner child that wants to come out. It's the inner child that wants to come and play. And the link that I'm seeing to this with food that's very interesting is that there's a dynamic of control going on here. When you were a child, you didn't have control over what it was that you were eating. And so there's a message in here for you about paying attention to the control that you have and allowing your inner child to also speak freely. That if what it is that you want to eat is like macaroni and cheese because it's a comfort food from your childhood, maybe you can go ahead and throw some extra cauliflower or broccoli or vegetables in there to make it good, but also something that's comforting and yummy and connecting to that feeling of love. That feeling, for me, no meal tastes better than when either my grandmother or my mom makes it. No food tastes better in the world because there's this element of love, and for me it reminds me of childhood. So that's what I'm picking up on, is that there's an essence in the freedom of control because now you are an adult, you get to make your own food choices, and at the same time honoring the inner child. What is it that you can do to actually bridge that gap of what is good for you and what's going to make you feel really good? And so really paying attention to that. It's the feeling. What is going to make you feel really good when you're eating it and when you're done and when you go to sleep at night and you think, wow, I feel really good in my body. Not, oh, my stomach is really bloated. It feels really bad. I can't really sleep because I ate too much sugar. All of these things are going to affect your ability to connect in with your higher self. All of these things are factors on what keep us asleep and what keep us in ignorance and what keep us away from honoring our truth through what it is that we're deciding to eat. So allow that inner child to speak more freely. I don't know if you've seen it, but there have been a few videos on the internet where children have been saying, the chickens are nice. Their chickens are here to love us, and we're here to take care of them. And same with other animals. We are aware of this, and as we grow into adulthood and we get really familiar with eating meat, it's one of those things that that we become desensitized to and thinking that our body needs it. But there's a lot of other messages in how to connect with our food that is coming through here. And like I said, I'm speaking with you rather than to you. I also am a meat eater and have been considering, just intuitively, I've been feeling something is off, like something isn't quite right when I've been eating meat, and it doesn't make me feel quite as good as it used to. I could feel like there's a level of consciousness that's shifting within myself that's saying it's time to start redirecting. It's time to start paying attention to other things that are available as far as eating proteins. So does anyone have any questions? Anyone want to type anything into the comments? I'm happy to dive into a little bit of anything that might be on your mind here at all. Anyone? Bueller? Okay, so maybe not this time, but next time you catch me on live, please do feel free to have a question prepared. I'm happy to answer it. I'm happy to dive into anything that might be coming up for you as far as using oracle cards, as far as anything that's going on in your life, as far as anything that has pertained to the reading that's showing up here. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching the replay on this, please do feel free to comment. I will be checking the comments and I will be responding. I love hearing from you guys, so please, please, please be interactive. It's something that keeps me thriving and going. I've been getting a lot of really positive feedback, even in my messages, my inbox. Thank you all for the hearts. So it really helps to encourage me to keep doing this and engaging with you, because it's really not a one-way road. I do this to connect with you and so that you can connect with me as well. So thank you so, so, so much for joining me. If you're interested in booking any sessions, please also feel free to message me. I'm happy to connect with you in that, and I am working on a few class offerings. The Earth Angels program is officially booked. The doors have closed on that one. I'm so thrilled and so excited to be on this journey with the Earth Angels, and thank you so much to everyone who has applied and interviewed with. It's been a true blessing to go through this process, and I would be lying straight out of my teeth if I wasn't saying that it absolutely pushed me to the edges of my comfort zones in 100 million different ways. It really, truly did feel like a birth canal to be able to offer something of such extraordinary value and weight, and also responsibility for me. It's been a huge leap. So thank you for everyone that's been participating, for following, for all of it. It really helps me, like I said, it really helps me to continue doing this work and to continue to show up. So thank you. Once again, we are in this together, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. All right. Mwah! Ciao.